We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented or submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning. It is Wednesday and we're having a wonderful Wednesday, and I am Orlando Daniels, your host of today's Entrepreneur, and I'm excited about today's guest. I'm always excited about the guests that God allows us to place on the platform here, and I want to introduce you to Miss Doreen Clark. Miss Doreen Clark, she is the actual owner of DaHair Salon Studio by Doreen. So tell us a little bit about your business, your brand, how you came to Houston and all that good stuff, but introduce yourself. Let them know who you are.
Wonderful. Thank you for having me, Orlando. My name is Doreen Clark. I am the owner of the Hair Studio Salon in Spring, Texas. And basically, we are a salon that caters to all things hair, natural texture. I provide natural, healthy hair services to my clients who come in with all different types of hair issues or just wanting to know how to maintain and take care of their hair. And so that's my goal. That's what I bring to the table when it comes to the ladies and even gentlemen. I deal with men that have dreadlocks or they're starting locks and they want to know how to take care of it, how to maintain it, what product to use. I'm very big in education and educating the consumer on what's the best product. All products don't have to cost an arm and a leg. Okay. And so what I try to do is give them or steer them in the way of natural, good products that will give them the ultimate result that they desire.
Well, that's good. I'm excited because this is my field. This is my field. For those who have been following and listening, I've been in the hair industry for about 34 years. And I specialize in natural hair as well, along with hair cutting. But you made mention of all things hair, and you highlighted that you are a natural hairstylist. But do you offer other services? Because when people hear natural hair, they only consider dreadlocks, twists, natural. But do you do any other kind of product or services?
I do all things hair.
Okay.
So I cater to girls with natural hair because of the need for it that I found in this area.
Okay.
But I also work with women who wear relaxers. I still take care of good, healthy, relaxed hair. Okay. I also do extensions and weavings for people who may just want to have a different look, or maybe you've had some crises with your problems with your health and you need something added extensions. Okay. I do braids as well. And I also do children, I do haircuts as well, but I do cater to all things hair. So I'm not limited to one particular hairstyle or design. So I'm very open to any and everybody. I'm multicultural,
so you're definitely out the box. One of the things I've said before is, when it comes to doing business or when God gives us a vision, we have to make sure that we're not one-dimensional thinkers.
Exactly.
That we learn how to not only exercise or take full possession of every opportunity. And when I say take full possession, literally embracing the opportunity that I have to learn a whole nother skill set or add to my skill set the very thing that I'm doing. And some people get into the industry, especially in the hair industry, and when we talk about being a people of color, we only deal with us.
Just us, no.
We only deal with us. And when I say us, I'm talking about ethnic group, ethnicity in relations to black culture.
Right.
But we have to remember that anything, for me, this is my personal belief, is anything for me that God entrusts us with, it should be universal. It should be something that everybody should be able to benefit from, especially when we talk about goods and services and establishing a business and being in this position by which you're aiding others with their beauty.
Right.
And so, what are some of the challenges you found, especially when we talk about natural hair, that you've come up against with clients, not just in this general area, but in the years that you've been in the field?
Well, I've been doing this over 22 years now, and like I said before, I'm gonna say this: hair doesn't have a color.
Correct.
So I don't do a color. I do a texture. So if you come into my salon, I'm going to do the texture of hair that you have and provide the service and educate you on how to maintain and take care of that particular texture. So I don't do a color. So I don't see color when people walk into my salon. I see the texture of hair, and I literally sometimes don't even remember my clients' faces, but I remember their hair. The minute they sit down,
Okay.
I know what I did to their hair last time. So going back to what you asked about natural hair, what I have found across the board is, as time has evolved and women and men have gotten more aware and involved in taking care of themselves, taking care of their body, taking care of their hair, women are more aware of what they want. And so with that, their natural hair has been something that they have embraced and just taken that power back and say, hey, I'm going to embrace my natural curl, my natural texture. Well, you do know all of us don't have the same texture.
Correct.
Whether we're black, white, biracial, whatever the ethnicity is, but our textures may be different.
Correct.
So I have come to educate myself on how to maintain and tame that particular texture. So when a person walks into the salon or calls me about a particular hair dilemma or maybe a style that they want, the first thing I want to know is I meet with them and consult with them, because I want to see what texture we're working with.
Okay.
And that way, once you understand the texture, then you can be able to cultivate the style and then make the person feel comfortable going home doing their hair afterwards, because once they leave the salon, they have to maintain it. So again, I go back to education, giving them the proper tools to be able to take care of their hair after they leave me.
I'm proud of you, because as you speak of not only what it is that you do, but I hear you referencing what I think are key things to having a successful business is knowing your brand, knowing your product, and most importantly, knowing your customer.
Yes.
If we're not careful, we will just put a price tag on the customer.
Right.
Though we know that's the reason we got into business.
Right.
But we don't consider the overall care. And I think when we consider businesses, the customer service is none and void and non-existent at times, but it seems like you're very attentive to your customers. So when we talk about getting into this industry, and we know that there are mom and pop and shops are popping up everywhere, it's like a liquor store on every corner. How did you go about getting into this particular field? Because I tell people there are times that people pick their field
or their field picks them.
or it picks them.
Right.
And some people don't tap into their purpose until later on in life, what
Right.
they're called to do. And when they start a business, a good friend of mine that was here on a few days ago from Network in Action, Stacey Harris, she says there's more to Tic Tac's business cards and ready to go.
Yes.
And so a lot of people want to establish businesses and they're ready to go, but they're not educating themselves. They're not, doing the work
Right.
that requires work.
Right.
So how did you go about establishing Doreen?
Well, what I have done was one of my main I think tools, or my main thing is that I am a consumer first. So I always put myself in the position of the consumer. So before I opened up my salon, or before I even started working here, I used to go and get my hair done. And what I found was I was not getting good customer service.
Okay.
I was a consumer. I would go and I would pay, $75 to $120 for a hair service, but no one said, "Good morning, Doreen, how are you today? Can I get you something to drink?" Or no one remembered me when I booked my next appointment. So for me, it was more so of, okay. And then of course, growing up, I always did hair, so that was always something that was in me. And then I began to tap into, like, this is an area where, Doreen, you can provide customer service. Anyone that knows me, my clients from South Carolina, Florida, Atlanta, up into Houston, I am big on customer service. Good morning. I greet you. How are you today? I know your family. I'm my boutique is it's intimate because I'm a salon suite, so I'm not this big brand like JCPenney's or Ulta, but I give you an intimate space and setting because I know what it's like for I'm a working mom.
Okay.
I knew what it was like to have that moment, that hour, 2 hours that I needed to just decompress. So for me, I went back to, again, providing good customer service, and then I went into looking into the arena of what was needed in my community at that particular time back in the 90s when I started. So for me, once I looked into the community, saw what was needed, then I began to, venture into the hair business. And I'm telling you, like you said, it actually found me, and it was a saving grace for me at that time in my life.
Okay.
And so I was able to, I knew how I like to look, so I wanted to give that image to other women. And I'm telling you, that's my goal, that's my ministry, because I believe that when a woman feels good about herself from the inside, the outside that has no choice but to glow.
Okay.
Whether it be her face, her hair, her nails, but when you are feeling good about yourself on the inside, and that's where your beauty stems from. Topically is just superficial. But when you are beautiful, when you feel good on the inside, the outside has no choice but to glow.
Great response. Here's something. Hearing you say that, I started thinking about the song by India Arie.
I'm not my hair.
Yeah, I'm not my hair. And there are times that people don't realize that that's just a part of me.
Right.
This is just a piece of me, and there's a little bit more to me. And so I'm glad that you're in the position that you're in, being able to aid others discover and tap into not just those hidden treasures, but that beauty that is not just within, but on the outside. You gotta, and sometimes when we feel good, we look good. I tell anybody, it's nothing like a good haircut, a brother getting shaved and lined up and all that good stuff. It's just a whole nother swag, whole nother attitude.
Whole nother swag.
So I want to give you the opportunity not only to share your location and how people can get in contact with you, but I also want to make mention, because you've transitioned from you've lived all these other places, but one of the places, let's give a shout out to where you're from, home.
Charleston, South Carolina. Hey,
and then she migrated and she lived in a whole nother area that we actually have some things in common. I ran a business in New Orleans. And so how did you end up here and choosing Houston? Other than God, leading you here. How did you decide, and we believe that, the steps of a good man are ordered and all of that.
Yes.
But give us 30 seconds of your transition.
Basically, you know what? I had a decision to make. It was leaving New Orleans. It was either 17-hour drive back to Charleston or 2.5, 3 hours drive up to Houston. And I looked at my daughter and I said, sweetheart, I said, you know what? Mommy's not going back to Charleston. And she goes, why? I said, because you know what? There's something else greater out there for us. And she was like, okay. And she was at that time, she was 14 going on 15. She was like, Mom, I'm your rider. I said, well, let's go ride then. And so we got in the car, and on the way driving, I'm telling you, it was nothing but my faith. I was shaking in my boots. I have no family here, just me and my daughter. I didn't even know where I was going, to be honest with you. But I just decided that, you know what, I was going to take my business, increase my business, and I was going to just move to Houston, and I was going to make it work. And I heard a still small voice. God said to me, he said, Houston is going to be good to you. And I said, okay. And so I took that opportunity, and I began to meet some wonderful people. Some wonderful ladies God connected me with, and I opened the door for me to work at a salon in the Woodlands called the Blow Bar. And I'm telling you, Katie, all the girls, Conshada, Megan, all the girls out there, they were so sweet and so kind to me, and they just took me in and they showed me the area. And I'm telling you, women entrepreneurs, women empowerment is something that I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing. It's the greatest feeling when you can get women coming together, building each other up. And I got here, and I'm telling you, the transition was amazing before my eyes, how God just ordered my steps and moved me and connected me with some wonderful people. And I got to Houston, and I'm telling you, I'm in 7111 FM 2920. I'm in Spring, Texas. Wonderful, wonderful location inside the French Quarter Salon. We we're intimate suites. Everybody have their own intimate boutique. They either whether they're doing hair, nails, selling clothing. We have barbers there. It's a wonderful location, and I'm telling you, I'm just so excited about what has happened in these last 2 years that I've been here. And I'm excited. I'm just amazed at what has happened in 2 years. So I'm looking forward to years to come.
The scripture says, I know the plan.
Come on.
And that is the key thing. He knows the plan. Thank you again for sharing with Orlando Daniels on today's Entrepreneur.
Thank you for having
Once again,
me.
this is Mrs. Doreen Clark of DaHair Studio. Connect with her, follow up with her on all of her social media pages. All the information is on the screen. If not, connect with KNLY 91.1 The Boss and get that information and get you a great stylist. You all be blessed. Thank you, lady.